Hey guys, welcome back to I'm Uniquely Made, and I'm your host, Monique. And if you see today, I have a special guest on my channel today, but y'all have seen her in other videos of mine, particularly Faithful Fitness. Y'all have seen her in a couple of videos, but before we get into her introduction, I wanted to introduce this new segment that I am including on my channel. So if you don't know by now, if you don't see what I've been doing on my channel, or like my motto is that life is ministry. The way that we live on a daily basis can greatly influence the next person. It could be your child, it could be your own parents that you're influencing, it could be a close friend, but there are areas in our lives that we hold a title in. Particularly, I'm a married woman, I am also a mother, I am also a child of God, and I'm still myself. So in all these areas, I'm supposed to present God in a good way so that he can get the glory out of it. So this particular segment is about marriage. So I have nothing pretty much on my channel about marriage or anything like that, but we are still quite like babies in marriage, I should say, because we've only been married 2-3 years, but our relationships have been for numerous years. Plus these 3 years, God has shown us a lot, about ourselves. So I'm excited to be sharing this part of myself with you guys, because at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure there are other women who are looking to be married, who are in marriages that maybe they need some inspiration, some motivation, or maybe just need a different thought process. So that's what we want to do on this, in this ministry, ministry of marriage. We want to be able to encourage the next woman, to encourage the young ladies who are growing up and are thinking about marriage. We are not perfect, please know that. God is working with us all the time, every single day, but as far as myself, I haven't really seen healthy marriages. So it's just a great thing to have someone else walking beside me as well. But anyway, like I can say, you guys, my name is Monique. I have been married about 2.5 years now. I was married in June of 2019, but before that, me and my husband has been together since I was 16, since 2006. So that's quite a long time for us to really grow up, get to know each other. For me, myself, I ain't talking about myself, for me to grow up and learn some things about relationships, and I wanted to share that with you guys. But let's go further and introduce Tanisha.
Hi. I'm Tanisha. Me and my husband been married for 3 years. We're going on 4. We have been together for almost 7 years, and it has been a journey.
Yes,
but it's been a good one. It's been a really good learning process and all of that. And I'm not a mother, but I am a stepmother, so that whole aspect is very different for me. So we're just gonna walk through that,
right? So what makes us different in our marriages is, first and foremost, I want to say got saved, after marriage, or I took my relationship with Christ very seriously after marriage, and so that completely shifted the whole dynamic of my marriage. But what's different is mine is much different than Kanisha's, because you go ahead and describe your relationship with your husband.
I've been saved since basically birth. So by the time me and my husband got together, he got saved a few months after I met him in my mom's house. So
wow,
it was a real growing process. So yeah, but
you guys were already saved before marriage.
We were definitely saved before marriage.
So those two are equally yoked, unlike my situation, where I wouldn't say that we're unequally
yoked.
Technically, we are unequally yoked, but my husband says he does believe in God. He does believe in Jesus, but he doesn't really operate in that capacity. So he doesn't really put forth the faith, I should say. Doesn't really, he doesn't really carry out the characters of Christ in a way of his works. I should say. Am I saying that right?
You can say that.
Yeah. But nonetheless, I mean, I have my own duty as a believer, as a wife who believes in Christ, and I will carry that out until God decides to change his heart, you know? But that's one thing that I did want to mention. That's how her and I both can give proper advice in certain areas, so that way, if you are in a relationship like this, or you ever get into one like this, you'll be like forewarned of the, like, you know, possibilities.
Just know what you may be able to expect.
Yeah. So we are starting this off with a Q&A. So a couple of days ago on my Instagram, I had posted a Q&A. I say ask us some questions, because we're going to come over here and we're going to answer some questions. So we have about 5-6 questions that we're going to just run through. They're very like, you know, random, whatever the case may be, but we're going to give, you know, you guys our input on it. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay. So out of respect for my guest, I'm going to let her go first. So Tanisha, go ahead with the first question, and we'll both give our 2 cents on it.
So the first question says, how do you stay together during the hard times? Well, from my experience, I can only speak for myself.
Yeah.
Growing up, I didn't really have to express myself that much.
Okay.
So, like, in our family, it was kind of like, if you're upset, you know, just go away into a room, chill out, and then we just proceed as normal. By the time I got married, that was something I had to unlearn. So, I'm just going to go off of arguments as far as my hard times. If we was to have an argument, it would really be more of him telling me like what was wrong or whatever like that, and me kind of just like being quiet. So I had to learn how to vocalize myself, but also if we're too heated in an argument, there's no way we're talking. You know, I have to walk away. I have to gather my thoughts before I say something that's, you know, not supposed to be said or whatever, and then I come back and we sit down and we talk. Not arguing at this point, but, you know, just conversating, and we're trying to get over what, you know, what had happened or whatever. So for those hard times, that's how we.
So basically, walk away, get it together,
and then come
back. I guess that's like the same way you would do like for kids. You know, they do something wrong. You gotta walk away, honey, because you might grip them up. You don't know what you're gonna do.
Listen here.
But when I seen hard times, I was like, I wonder in what context is this person meaning. Like, if someone's sick, you know, that's a hard time. If a spouse is, you know, if your spouse is really, really sick, or, you know, are you talking about arguments? But we're gonna take it as a hard time as being an argument. And yeah, as far as staying together during hard times, that's a given. I mean, in marriage, you're not supposed to just, you know, walk away, but you have to basically communicate effectively, and find like what works for you guys. It's not about like staying together during the hard times. It's about how do you get like through it. Just like getting through those hard conversations is really, really tough, but y'all just both have to approach it, I feel like, with an open mind. Me and my husband, like when we go through an argument, first of all, I had to figure out, like, is he trying to be smart, or like, am I being like over dramatic, you know what I mean? And then, you know, we might hash it out, we might argue, then we'd be like, you were just being dumb, like, for real, like, that's just how I might admit that I was just being dumb, or, you know what I mean? But definitely staying through the hard times is really, you know, you just really have to communicate. That's just how you stay through it. You just have to communicate. There's no going to, you know, run away. There's no just like, I'm done shutting down. Like, you really just have to like communicate and comprehend, because anyone can communicate, but I think the comprehension part is top tier.
And really listening. Like, learning how to be quiet when they're trying to express themselves.
Right.
And then you react. Right.
Because we all get defensive and we all think that, you know, we're being attacked. But yeah, listening, most definitely. So the second question, do you pray with one another when you are upset? So I'm gonna start off by answering that, and my hardcore answer is no. We don't, unfortunately. That's just the way that my relationship has always been. We have never like we started incorporating that like more frequently lately, but not so much when we're upset. So this is like a new arena for us. This is why God, y'all we supposed to be equally yoked when y'all decide to get married to avoid tensions like this. But I am one who does pray, when I'm upset or experiencing something. But do I just go and like go directly to my husband, like, baby, I need prayer. Like, we need to get into prayer. I'm really in some trying times. No, not really. I would literally go to my sister, literally would go to in the Bible or to my mom, anyone, who actively seeks God and can pray with me. So, unfortunately, no, we do not pray with one another when we are upset.
And I'm going to have to come on and say no. Because at the time of you being upset, that's the last thing that's on your mind. I don't care what nobody has to say. I don't care how holy they've been. I don't care how long they've been in church. I don't care. When you mad, you're not thinking about praying. You're thinking about hitting them. Like, so
yes.
Again, like, that's when I walk away. We walk away a little bit and just to collect yourself. And then once we have our conversation about, what happened, why was we so upset, after we're able to hear somebody, then we can come together and pray about it. But initially, nope.
Yeah. That's cold. That's cold, y'all. We don't. And, it's sad to say, even though we should. We don't. But that's the...
And we are working on it.
Truth. Yeah. That's the honest truth. It's hard out here, y'all. It's hard.
Accept that question again in 2 years. Okay, do you pray as a couple? And if so, when do you pray? And do you have a routine time to pray? We do pray as a couple. But because of our life, like, he works all the time. And I'm at home for most of the time, so he'll pray a lot on his own. He'll pray a lot on his own at work, where where he get it in where he fit it in, and I do the same. So when we do have that time to come together and pray, it's just when we have the most time to do it, because our schedules are so unpredictable. So we keep God in the center. We're not trying to be like, oh, we whenever we can, Jesus, but it's we do it on purpose,
So you pray as a couple.
We do pray as a couple.
You pray when you get the chance, but there's just no routine.
Yeah, there's no routine.
Yeah, there's not every morning or every night we're gonna. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
As far as coming together, like, I'll pray every morning, but he wakes up so much earlier than I do to leave out the house, that we can't pray together in the morning.
Gotcha. As far as my answer. As far as like together, no, but as far as like a family, again, that has been like being incorporated more frequently lately. I've been trying to get like the kids together in prayer just at night, that's when we're pretty much like about to go to bed. You say our prayers, and then everyone may take a turn to pray a different night. Even my husband sometimes he says a prayer every night. I don't know, I can't judge him on if he means it or whatever, but I feel like as long as he's being exposed to God, then that's just his salvation. But no, we don't have a routine time to pray, and we don't really pray as a couple, like just us. I remember one particular time he was talking about a job, and I guess it was a job he really wanted, and I was just like, out of nowhere, I was like, do you want to pray about it? And I was like, I never say that, which I need to do. But he was like, yeah. And then I was like, oh, okay, but glory to God. Yeah, glory to God. So the next question is, if your man is caught cheating, would you forgive and forget? Or would you end the relationship if kids are involved in your decision? So, first and foremost, we're going to answer this question in two ways. One, if they saying your man like as in a boyfriend, or your man as in your husband.
You want to start with the boyfriend?
Yeah, let's take it with the boyfriend, okay? So let's just say it says, if your boyfriend is caught cheating, would you forgive or forget? First of all, I wouldn't be with my boyfriend. first of all, because that's not showing love. His character is not even showing love, okay? But if me and my boyfriend decides to have kids together, then still, I would leave him. In my personal opinion. But this is much more complicated based on someone's situation, because she may, this individual may not be in a predicament to just leave. You feel me what I'm saying? But as far as forgiving and forgetting, like, I can, if I'm a Christian, yeah, I'm gonna forgive, yeah. But as far as you being my boyfriend, I would make it so I will leave that relationship. I would strive to leave that relationship. So you go ahead and answer.
Am I doing
that part.
boyfriend?
Yeah, you can add your 2 cents or go ahead to the if it was your husband.
So I think I'm gonna go ahead for the husband because it's gonna be slightly lengthier than the rest.
Yeah, definitely. Because that's a lot.
If you are married,
that's right,
and your husband cheats, let's just take this as a first offense. That's and right. if you really feel as though that this has like really shattered your marriage, you do have a right to leave. That's as far as the Bible is concerned, you can look at 1 Corinthians 7, you can look at Matthew 19 verse 9, and it gives you the right to do that. However, if you are married and your husband has cheated on you for the first offense and you choose to work it out, then as far as forgiving and forgetting, we're going to 1 Corinthians 13, love holds no record.
That's right.
Okay? So you have to, as a woman or a man, you have to choose. Once you say I forgive that person, you have to choose forgiveness like every day. Yep. This is not bringing it up. This is not holding on to it. This is not constantly accusing them of old things or trying to bring up stuff that has nothing to do with the cheating just so you can be angry and lash out at them. At that point, you decided to stay.
Yep.
Okay? So if you decided to stay, then you have to forgive them. And by forgiving them, it doesn't necessarily mean forgetting what they did, but because you chose to forgive them and because you're a Christian, then God has covered that. That's because right. You decided to stay there. Okay?
That's right.
And even with children, when you're married with children and then it comes down to cheating, yes, it gets very hard.
Yep.
It gets very difficult. That's a hard decision to make because at this point it's like, am I separating? Is this offense so bad that I have to separate my children as well? Have to destroy their environment as well.
That's right.
It takes on account of who you are.
That's right.
But now, if this is more than one offense, then go ahead, because God says that he doesn't want you not to have peace in your marriage. You have to have peace in your marriage. And if this is causing irritation, if it's causing untrust, if it's causing just chaos in your life altogether, then by all means.
Yes. You do not have to feel obligated to stay in, not just cheating, that further entails physical abuse, mental abuse, all that, like, you do not have to stay. Okay? But God loves a forgiving heart. He loves reconciliation. So if y'all can reconcile, rectify the situation, then do it. But you cannot, like Tanisha said, you cannot hold on to that. Love is kindness. So you cannot be rude to your husband if you forgave him. Yep. Love is not keeping a record, like she said. Like, it's hard. It's hard. But that's something that, quite honestly, can't be done like without God. I feel like that kind of forgiveness, especially in your marriage, cannot be done like without God. And anyone trying to do it without him,
it's gonna be rough. That's
it's gonna be rough because you're gonna be a lot of self. It's gonna be a lot of self, and you gotta ask yourself, is it times you messed up? You know what I mean? Like, we ain't perfect. And then to add on top of that, even though this is kind of off topic, if it comes, let's just say your spouse cheated, right? If it if he does that, we have to also examine ourselves. I feel like in a way of, did we not necessarily cause it? Everyone has their own choice. Okay,
where do I lack at?
Where exactly? Because if he's been like, if you've been kind of reserving, your body, because your body is his once you become married. If you kind of been
vice versa.
Yes, if you kind of been holding out, because a man has needs, and he goes elsewhere, you have to take account for your part in it. Like, unfortunately, not to say that he should, but you have to take account for your part. And that's for another topic. That's another situation. But
we'll get into that.
Yeah, nonetheless, you have to look at it in two different ways. Now, if it was your boyfriend, like we said, we would bounce out of there. But a husband, definitely, it changes the narrative of the story. Yeah.
Your thoughts on sex before marriage?
Yeah.
Listen, honey. This is
that's another one that's a lot.
That's another one that's gonna have to have its own segment.
That's right.
We all human. We all human. We have done things.
Point blank. Period.
In the past, okay, we have been there. Being as though that I have been there, we have been there. I can firmly say you should wait. Just wait. Being as though that we have been in this position, I firmly believe that you should definitely wait before marriage. Why? Once you start having relations with people before you get married, you just connecting yourself to them spiritually. It's on a deeper level, and a lot of people will be like, "Yep, soul ties." We understand that soul ties is something you start adding other people's issues and other people's generational curses and stuff on yourself once you start having sex with people who are not meant to be your partner.
That's right.
Especially like these sneaky links, bro, sis. I'm trying to tell you, you don't want it because then it starts. You get too much out of it that you didn't ask for, and a lot of people you end up with these baby mamas and these baby daddies that you hate because you wasn't supposed to be with them. But it's something so special once you really wait and then you get married to the right person, and it's just something beautiful. It's something that God created as an addition to marriage. It wasn't intended to be used so loosely.
That's right. So like what Tanisha said, first of all, when you go and have sex before marriage, you're just setting yourself up for just chaos. I feel like I wish I could go back in time and save myself from all the chaos, because you turn around, you don't know if you're pregnant. You don't know if you got an STI, something you can get rid of, an STD, something you cannot get rid of. Like, God don't want that chaos for us in our relationships. He wants us to be happy and just like essentially problem free in that area. You know what I mean? And secondly, when you do, what if you like you said, what if you get pregnant and then you having babies by X boy, Y boy, Z boy? You don't want that for yourself, sis. You don't want that for yourself, guys. So my last question for my sis is, if you could change one thing about your marriage or relationship, what would it be?
Change something about my marriage.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say have more of a better foundation with God, honestly.
Yeah.
If the question was what would I have done differently beforehand, then it would be to really root myself in like God more before getting married, or really learning what it meant to be a wife. Because just like Monique said, I haven't really had too many good examples of marriage. Like I've got married and I just got to learn. Yeah. So I would rather really be grounded in God first. Yeah. Though I've been in church all my life, that don't mean I've been saved all my life.
Okay.
All right.
Yes. Well, that's gonna be it, you guys. I'm so excited that you guys joined us in this Q&A. Look forward to much more content about marriage, and just to see ourselves grow. Every now and then Kanisha may be featured, who knows? But I'm excited for where this is going to take us, how much, you know, I'm going to learn about marriage, about my own marriage, about myself, about other people's marriages. Because the goal is to like really start inviting, like really start talking about marriage and, you know, the purpose of it all, and, you know, what a healthy marriage looks like. Because I feel like no one's really seen a healthy marriage like that. And if I haven't seen it and I'm 30-something years old, then people younger than me, because I don't see nobody getting married no more. People younger than me, they pretty much ain't seeing it either. But thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
Bye. I'm uniquely